Welcome to This Week in Health IT News, where we look at as many stories as we can in 20 minutes or less that will impact health IT. It's Tuesday News Day, and here's what we have on tap. Cerner CEO unveils next-generation cognitive platform in health conference keynote. Allscripts Northwell, a bunch of EHR stories actually this week. Allscripts Northwell co-developed next-generation EHR, second next-generation EHR being developed. Meditech works with Google to host EHRs to the public cloud, intros iPhone support. So exciting news within the EHR front. We're going to take a look at the HHS announcements around the Stark Law changes, and not comprehensively, but as much as we can. And then, given enough time, I'm going to talk about the VA shifting to opt-out model for sharing health data, and InterSystems unveils clean data as a service solution, helping normalize data sets for analytics and ROI. I have 6 other stories here, but we'll see what we get to. My name is Bill Russell. We're covering healthcare CIO and creator of This Week in Health IT, a set of podcasts and videos dedicated to developing the next generation of health IT leaders. This podcast is sponsored by Health Lyrics. Professional athletes have coaches for every aspect of their life to improve performance, yet many CIOs and health executives choose to go it alone. Technology is taking center stage in healthcare. Get a coach in your corner. Visit healthlyrics.com to schedule your free consultation. If you're going to the health conference in Vegas at the end of October, you'll want to stop by a discussion we're going to be having that I'm actually going to be moderating for VMware on Tuesday, October 29th at 12:40. And it's VMware, Intel, Deloitte, and others. It's going to be a discussion on the opportunities, challenges, and promise of leveraging multi-cloud environments. If you're there, please stop by. Would love to see you. All right, let's get to the news. So Cerner CEO unveils next-generation cognitive platform in health conference keynote. This is, actually, I pulled this from the Cerner blog. Why not? Because I'm going to go back to why I chose the blog to do this. But healthcare, here's some quotes from it. Healthcare will change more in the next 5 years than it has in the past 30. Schaefer, the CEO, told the audience of 5,000 clients, innovators, and other healthcare industry professionals during the keynote address. As we have for the past 4 decades, Cerner's technology and collaborative programs, along with the most respected providers, will lead a wave of disruptive innovation focused on making healthcare better. Great. We're all for it. Let's hear what you're going to do. Aligning with the conference's theme of now and next, Schaefer shared enhancements to benefit Cerner clients today, then announced next-generation health platforms. Next generation seems to be the new buzzword, maybe the buzzword for 2019, we'll see. Codenamed Project Apollo, this initiative brings a more cognitive approach to practicing medicine. Leveraging the powerful combination of its healthcare technology with AWS infrastructure, Cerner's new cloud-based platform will accelerate the speed that innovations are integrated by removing manual steps for clients that slow the pace of adoption. Additionally, Cerner is creating an intelligence ecosystem to innovate next-generation user experience and care delivery algorithms. The future innovations will support caregivers in giving them full focus to delivering high-quality patient care support by the power of Cerner's intelligent platform. Once again, I'm going to go back because I shared this, the signing day announcement, Cerner going with AWS and going with Amazon. And I believe that the announcement has a lot of promise. And directionally, I like this. This is directionally pretty interesting to marry Amazon's AWS intelligence platform with Cerner's EHR. I think has a lot of promise. I don't think much more has been shared here, but I think what you're going to see in this story, the next is cloud is becoming central to an effective EHR strategy. EHRs are not going to be able to live on their own and be effective anymore. They need to plug into cloud. They need to plug into this is me going off here, but they need to plug into cloud. They need to plug into the tools that are available in the cloud, the cognitive tools, intelligence tools, analytics tools, the ability to share the APIs that are available, the ability to plug into the market and the innovators in the market. As I have said, and I'm sure I stole it from someone, I don't know who, you can't out-innovate the market, and the market is catching up to these EHR vendors. And Cerner, I applaud them. They're taking the lead here and getting out in front of it. And not only that focus of taking cognitive into the EHR, again, it's kind of nebulous because I think their solution is kind of nebulous at this point. It's more of an announcement kind of thing, and the conference sort of snuck up on them. They don't really have real live use cases. I think if at this time next year, or maybe at HIMSS, if we're not talking about solutions coming out of this partnership, you'll know that the bureaucracy within the organizations has gotten in the way, and it is not advanced as quickly as it can, and the normal healthcare thing is slowing it down. That would be the bad news. The good news is if we start to see things, you will see the ability for these next generation, and I'm not talking about the EHR, I'm talking about the next generation cloud platforms being able to be overlaid on top of these legacy platforms and really move the needle forward. That's the hope. That's the promise of this. And I think it's an exciting announcement, and I wish they had more to share at this point. Again, let's look about 4 or 5 months out at HIMSS, see what they're showing off at their booth, see what they're talking about, and then let's give them about a year to see if they're really moving the needle with this. But again, directionally great. Love what they're doing. Allscripts, Northwell. Next story, Allscripts, Northwell Health to co-develop next-generation EHR. A next-generation EHR. Wow. Well, anyway, next generation. David Rath's Healthcare Innovation Group. Let me give you a few quotes from this. The new platform will be cloud-based, voice-enabled, and artificial intelligence-based. So it's cloud-based, artificial intelligence-based, and voice-enabled. And that sounds like a good combination. And you saw that also at the UGM this year, voice-enabled, artificial intelligence. You saw the thing. I think you're seeing that Epic might be a little slow here on is this whole cloud adoption. They believe in building it all themselves, and I think that is going to be one of their downfalls. I hope that someone in there is whispering in Judy's ear to say, Judy, which cloud platform are we going to embrace? Because most clients I talk to that are looking at the Epic cloud environment are finding that it is too expensive. That's what I'm hearing right now. Maybe it's just a simple reconfiguration and a re-architecting of the platform, or maybe it's adopting a partner that helps them to scale it national and even globally for that matter. But anyway, this story is about Allscripts and Northwell. EHR vendor Allscripts announced it is working with New York-based Northwell Health to create what it describes as the next generation EHR, which will be cloud-based, voice-enabled, artificial intelligence-based. The EHR will be designed and tested using input from Northwell clinicians, information technology experts, and administrators with the goal of ultimately deploying it system-wide, Allscripts said. Increasingly, health systems and health IT vendors are looking for ways to work more closely together on technology innovations. Northwell Health is New York State's largest healthcare provider and private employer with more than 13,600 affiliated physicians. It has been using Allscripts since 2009. Okay, Chicago-based Allscripts will provide the development and systems integration expertise. Allscripts and Northwell will jointly develop and pilot its new EHR while continuing to support and enhance Allscripts Sunrise, the EHR platform currently in use at the 19 Northwell hospitals, and Allscripts TouchWorks currently in use at more than 750 outpatient practices that Northwell owns and operates throughout New York area. We're excited about the possibilities. You get the idea. It goes on to, and it has the normal stuff. Again, I think this is directionally fantastic. And it's adopting the right things. Cloud-based, voice-enabled, artificial intelligence-based. Again, this is early on. This is the followers of Epic trying to figure out a way to leapfrog them. And this has the most potential, to be honest with you. If they could figure out a way to get much more efficient using cloud, much more integrated using APIs, not only FHIR, but other APIs that might be available to them, being able to leverage a new way of interfacing with the EHR. We've heard that most people don't like the EHR because it's way too burdensome. They're spending extra hours in the office. Voice has that potential, hopefully something beyond what Nuance is doing, but Nuance is doing great things. and artificial intelligence based, right? If we can overlay artificial intelligence, which right now is kind of a buzzword in these marketing things, but I am seeing more and more use cases for how it's being used to predict issues and get ahead of the curve on some of these things. Not only sepsis, but code blues and other things. So very exciting possibility. But again, these are early announcements. Let's see what's happening on this one. I'd say give them a year. Give them a year, and let's see what Northwell and Allscripts are doing together to really advance this. And then finally, and one of the interesting things here, finally we're going to talk about Meditech. And one of the interesting things here is people forget how big Meditech is. Meditech's actually a pretty large provider of EHR software, not only in our country, but in other countries. In fact, one of the largest providers in Canada across the entire, it's not a province, country, but the major provinces are predominantly using Meditech. So it is pretty extensively installed. It is still one of the least expensive EHRs to run, which is what makes it so attractive when you get into that case of finally looking at the numbers and saying, we can't afford a $500 million rollout, and Meditech is, half of that or a quarter of that. To roll out. And actually some of this announcement here is going to talk about how they've really driven the cost out even further. Okay, so Meditech works with Google to host EHRs to the public cloud. Intro's iPhone support. Mike Milliard, Healthcare IT News. Meditech this week revealed that its Expanse platform, which is their sort of EHR as a service kind of platform, will be made available via Google Cloud. In another announcement, it said that it now supports health records for the iPhone. Two completely separate conversations. Apple's health record is available on several EHRs. I think Allscripts, Cerner, and Epic. It's now available on Meditech, which is great. Now, you're going to cover probably 85% of the market in terms of the EHRs. So Apple's health record is expanding, and that's a good sign to get the information into the hands of the patient. So let's see. Meditech is collaborating with Google Cloud to offer its electronic health record through its public cloud platform, which it says will boost security, interoperability, and scalability for its EHR customers. That is absolutely true. I really don't trust the EHR providers to build out a cloud. They shouldn't be building out a cloud. There's too many clouds out there that are already secure, they're interoperable, and they're much more reliable than anything that they would build from scratch. So by working with Google Cloud Platform, Meditech will be able to offer options aligned with Meditech as a service subscription model, the company said on Tuesday, with faster and more cost-effective implementation of evolving EHR technology. Public cloud also helps healthcare organizations with finite resources for cybersecurity bolster their InfoSec preparedness and protect against ransomware attacks. And Google Cloud collaboration also extends to application development. Plans are underway to develop a native cloud product as well as APIs to be used on these products, says Meditech President and COO Michelle O'Connor. So the innovation will be extended to our on-premise customers as well. On Thursday, meanwhile, the company announced that it will support health records, so forth. So we already talked about that. This is an interesting announcement. I think it's an interesting announcement because this has the ability to, you take a low-cost, fully functioning, very high-functioning EHR that can run anything from a federally qualified health clinic to a 16-hospital system. Well, not Expanse, but Meditech has that capability to run those kinds of hospitals. And you now overlay, quite frankly, the power of the Google Cloud platform, and you get those two organizations working together, and you now might have a much more cost-effective, high-functioning EHR. I don't know if that's the case. Again, this is announcement-ware kind of stuff, but directionally it's correct. This is how you start winning bids in the future against Epic and Cerner, and we're lower cost and higher functioning. Seems like a no-brainer to me, but we'll see. They have to work on their user interface. Clearly, I haven't looked at the Expanse platform. Maybe they have. but their user interface, well, actually, all the EHR user interfaces look like DBase 4 kind of applications going back to that. So anyway, let's go to the Stark Law. So HHS proposes Stark Law changes that would broaden providers' maneuverability under APMs. Mark Hagland, Healthcare Innovation Group. So CMS Administrator Seema Verma, in an announcement stated, "We serve patients poorly when government regulations gather dust in the attic, as the Stark Laws have." The announcement continued, the Stark Laws' new value-based exceptions under the proposed rule issued, and I'm only going to focus on a portion of this, by the way, proposed rule issued by the Senate, and if you want to see the whole thing, it's out on the CMS website, cms.gov. Proposed rules issued by the CMS acknowledge that incentives are different in a healthcare system that pays for value rather than for volume of services provided. This included proper safeguards that ensure that the Stark Law will continue to provide meaningful protection against overutilization and other harms, while giving physicians and other providers added flexibility to improve the quality of care for their patients. It talks about the penalties and other things. The important thing here is that the Stark Laws were put in place to protect patients, protect from overbilling and unneeded services and those kind of things, and also to protect against kickbacks that would allow health systems to create an unfair advantage within the marketplace. And so some of the, as you know, the Stark Laws allow you to go out to your clinically integrated network and help to pay for certain aspects of their technology, but it's more of a gift than it is a there's no quid pro quo, as they say, and there's no kickback. So they thought they would update this, because one of the things that was happening was health systems were looking at this and saying, hey, Stark Laws don't allow us to help them with cybersecurity, and Stark Laws don't allow us to continue to do enhancements and don't allow us to do certain things like that. And Seema Verma and the team, again, being very proactive, and I really like this. They looked at it and they said, that was not the intention here. The intention here was to modernize, obviously through the electronic health record, but to keep that secure. And if all we do is if all health systems do is give the medical practice the technology in order to run their EHR, but they don't give them the right cybersecurity overlay on top of it on an ongoing basis, then you have a problem. And what they're essentially saying here is there's a whole host of things like some IoT things around pill boxes, cybersecurity around their EHR that can be given, again, it's pseudo gifts to the medical groups so that we can continue to maintain a high level of security and interoperability and integration for those clinically integrated networks. So I didn't do a great job on that. Again, hit cms.gov. Chime is also doing a great job following this and promoting it and lobbying for the right things to be included in it. So keep an eye on your Chime emails. You could also hit the Chime website. I'm sure they have something out there for it. And you could also hit the cms.gov. But good move, directionally great. I'm saying that a lot. Directionally great. This is good stuff. Well, and this is actually pretty tangible, so we'll see where it goes. I want to hit two things. 1840 we're at on this episode. Let's see if I can hit two things real quick. VA shifting to opt-out model for sharing health data. David Rath's Healthcare Innovation Group. This is actually a pretty big announcement, and I'm not going to do it justice, but going from opt-out to opt-in. Opt-in meant that the veterans would have to actually go out there if they wanted to be a part of being able to share their VA health record to the surrounding community health systems. They would actually have to go in there and opt in, which we know is very cumbersome and it's very hard to do. And they are now shifting that to an opt-out model, which means that all veterans will be automatically enrolled. And if you don't want to be in it for whatever reason, and I'm sure there's some good reasons, maybe privacy or some other things that some veterans will want to not be included, they can do that and they can opt out. So this will get much higher participation and probably serve our veterans a lot better. The final one is final story. InterSystems unveils clean data as a service solution, helping normalize data sets for analytics ROI. Mike Milliard, Healthcare IT News. New offering from InterSystems, and I am a huge proponent of InterSystems. They're not a sponsor of the show, but I have purchased their software before as a CIO. It's really good software. And I'm not promoting it for that reason, but this clean data as a service solution is like the holy grail. And that's why I wanted to bring it up. I think they're not going to be the last to do it, but they're one of the first to do it that I really have seen. So here's essentially what it does. In an effort to help healthcare organizations achieve more from their analytics, a better position them to take advantage of the new artificial intelligence and machine learning initiatives, InterSystems has launched a new service called Clean Data as a Solution. The service, which the company says can help not just hospitals and health systems, but also payers, life sciences, you got the picture, can help position health organizations as they move towards more AI and automation to help manage data sets from multiple sources. Clean Data as a Solution offers product and data normalization functionality to support specific use cases such as integration, patient matching, aggregation, normalization, terminology and enrichment, deduplication into a unified care record, clinical viewing capabilities, and more. According to InterSystems, it's delivered as a service. As everyone knows, data governance is one of the hardest challenges facing health systems, payers, providers, everybody. We do not have a common data model across all the EHRs and across all the payer systems. And so we are constantly having to normalize the data in order to make it effective. And the ability to offer that as a service is interesting to me. Again, this is announcementware, and I apologize, I did a lot of these announcementware kind of conversations, but this is one to look at and keep an eye on. If they're able to really make inroads and really make this work, this is a huge expense in the industry. I can't tell you how much money gets gets spent on really good productive work around normalizing this data and making it available and making it effective for good analytics within the health system and to be shared across clinically integrated network so that we can coordinate care better and do all those things. So this is an interesting service. I'm going to keep a close eye on this. I will talk to these guys when I see them again. Who knows? Maybe one of these conferences coming up. Maybe it'll be at Chime. Maybe it'll be at HIMSS in early next year. We'll have to see. Well, that's all. As much news as we can do in 20 minutes or less with me just rambling as fast as I can. If you want to take a look at those stories, again, a lot of them came from Healthcare IT News and Healthcare Innovation Group, my two go-to sources really for news. And I recommend you hitting those stories. Well worth reading. So that's all for this week. Every Friday, check out our interviews with industry influencers, and keep the comments coming. One of the things I'm trying to do is keep refining this show. Some of you are telling me, hey, go deeper on the topics. Some of you are telling me cover more news stories. I'm going to see which one I get more feedback on. If I get more on one or the other, I'll do more shows. But I will bounce back and forth. When there's something to go deep on, I will do that. And when there are just so many stories that I think are worth covering, that's what we're going to do. So thanks. Keep the feedback coming. Bill at thisweekinhealthit.com. I'm going to be at the health conference coming up. Also going to be at the Chime conference coming up. So if you're there, please reach out. I would love to talk to you. This show is a production of This Week in Health IT. For more great content, you can check out our website at thisweekhealth.com. YouTube channel off of that. Plus, I did a complete redesign of the website. Have gotten some help from some younger people who have told me my website looked too much like a 50-year-old engineer had designed it, which a 50-year-old engineer had designed it. So that was pretty accurate, and they have helped me to rethink how we organize the website so that you can find the information you're looking for. So again, give me feedback. Let me know how that looks to you. Thanks for listening. That's all for now.